All right, good morning and welcome to Rapid Dawn. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning. It is the first day in the month of May 2024. And of course, it is a public holiday, so I am guessing that for some persons, they are probably in their houses, or if you are like me, maybe on your way to work or already at work, depending on what your schedule is like. My name is Cynthia Agbo, and today promises to be amazing, interesting. Just to give you a hint of why you are in your house. Some people probably don't know why they are in their house this beautiful morning. Now, in 1886, a group of workers gathered somewhere in Chicago, and they were demanding for improved welfare and so many great things. But then something disastrous happened. There was a bombing at the Haymarket, which involved several labor people. And they gathered again in 1889. And that was when it was reached that 1st of May every year is going to be celebrated as Workers' Day, because it is a reminder that they have to demand for improved workers' status. And this is just to let you know that what you're demanding for, or what they demanded for till now, is very valid. Ogochukwu, how are you?
I'm very well. It's nice to see you channeling your historical powers.
Are you a worker?
Yes. I work for someone.
Okay, you're a worker.
Yeah. I mean, it would...
What?
on a day like this that workers are being celebrated, and then there's a lot of recognition for the work that they put in, for the sacrifices that they make, for the dedication and commitments that they bring to the table. I would expect that on a day like this, I'd be at home, you know. But here I am.
My brother, I cannot help you with that one. Can we have the Workers' Day fly on the screen, please?
But then again,
it is Labor Day.
Yes,
so.
yes. It's significant for workers in Nigeria because they've been through a lot. There's been, I mean, you started about the story on agitation, demands for certain privileges, and certain things that are actually necessary for work to be effective, you know, by the workers as far back as the, you know, years ago. It is a demand, it is an agitation that has persisted, as it were. Even till today, we still have workers demanding, we still have workers protesting, we still have workers agitating for better work and life conditions. And one begins to wonder, the people to whom they are agitating to, are they really paying attention to the plight, and in this case, the plight of Nigerian workers? The Nigerian worker who has to deal with increased electricity tariff, the Nigerian worker who has to deal with buying premium motor spirit at an exorbitant price, the Nigerian worker who has to go to the market to purchase inflated food prices. I mean, most of the commodities in the market, you're talking food, you're talking clothing, electronics, household items. The prices for all of these items is at an all-time high. It is the Nigerian worker who has to go there. And all of this with the amount of money that they're making. And now we've seen a lot of increase across board in a lot of things over the last 4 years, or over the last 10 years. Electricity, power, fuel, and what have you. We've seen a lot of increase in these sectors. But has there been any appreciable increase in the income of the average Nigerian worker? And you know what the answer is, you know, between you and I. There's really not a lot that's been done in that regard, despite the repeated call and demand by the Nigeria Labour Congress, by the Trade Union Congress, and several other unions, time and time again when labor unions, whether it's the ASU or doctors or nurses, time and time again when they've gone on industrial actions, there's rarely a situation where it is not related to their pay. There's really a situation where it is not related to their remuneration and better working conditions. But then again, is the government paying attention? Is the government addressing the demands that these workers are raising? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves on a day such as this. I believe today should be for sober reflection for the workers and for the government, for the labor unions as well. I mean, I think a lot of people have talked about a time in the past when labor used to be a force to reckon with. But right now, is labor still the mouthpiece of the Nigerian workers? Are they still performing the role and functions for which they were created in the first place? Can the Nigerian worker beat his chest and say, I know that the Nigeria Labour Congress or the Trade Union Congress has got my interest at heart? So for all of the stakeholders involved, the Nigerian worker, the labor unions, and the government, it is a moment of sober reflection for everyone.
Oh, well, while you are focusing on those who are demanding for increased pay, I would say that my own Workers' Day celebration will go out to those people who are technically not captured in the whole increased salary pay. For example, who is demanding increase of salary for the average mechanic on the road? He's a worker. Happy Workers' Day. Who is demanding for workers' pay for or increase better condition for the woman who is selling okpa by the road? She is a worker. Happy Workers' Day. Or the plumber man, or the man who digs your sock away. I mean, these people are all rendering services to make the society a better one. Happy Workers' Day. You deserve a chilled bottle of something today. Take out money from your savings, like I always like to say. That money you have been putting in your colo, go and remove small. Enjoy yourself. Don't stay on the queue, because while coming this morning, there was, I mean, workers are queuing up, you know, to get fuel probably in advance. I mean, for tomorrow, for those who are not going to go to work today. But then, try and enjoy yourself today. Try and have some fun. Try and make sure that you treat yourself to something good, because you have worked from May 1st last year to May 1st this year. You deserve a good thing. I mean, buy yourself a new shirt or a new shoe, and just something to celebrate your day. Well, I mean, because and then not to forget that yesterday there were little stories here and there about increase of salary for some persons, some workers in some places.
That's not the first time we're going to be hearing stories like that. I totally agree with you on going beyond civil servants to celebrate the artisans and those that we call menial job workers, you know, who are out there on the streets hustling. And if we're actually going to do that, I think we should let the accolades go across board to actually everyone who is putting in good work for something legitimate and something that's totally rewarding. We have to really appreciate you. But then again, the clamor for who is agitating for better pay for the mechanic or for the plumber or the cobbler or the barber or what have you, well, without holding brief for the government, it would interest you to know that this group of people are the first or among the first set of people who increase the prices for their services at any slightest provocation. Now, sometimes when you go to your barber, you know, just because on that day there might have been probably an increase in fuel or some sort of change in the dollar to naira rate. And next thing you're hearing from your barber, who you used to pay, let's say 1,000 naira for a haircut, is now telling you that it's 2,000. You know. Now, for some of these people who controlling what the pricing of the services that they offer is their sole responsibility. They are the sole proprietor of their businesses, as it were. Are we really supposed to agitate for them? Are we really supposed to say, oh, who is making demands for better pay for them? Because they are the ones who control whatever it is in terms of pricing, in terms of remuneration for the services they render. Whereas for the Nigerian worker, yes, they can make demands. Yes, they can say, oh, we don't deserve to be paid 1 naira. We should be paid 5 naira. But then again, the ultimate decision of what comes into their account at the end of the month does not rest with them.
Are you aware that if you ask 5 to 10 people on the street, they will tell you that an average civil servant sits in his office from morning to evening and probably doesn't do anything. If you go to our secretariats, people have made several complaints regarding to that. Sometimes to even attend to you is a problem. They toss you from one place to the other. Now, these are complaints. Let me finish. These are complaints that you find everywhere. Now, when you are agitating for some of these things, are you going to compare? Let's just say a person who goes to the office and probably, you know, sits at the chair and chat with colleagues, laugh about the new dress they're going to buy when the woman comes in the afternoon, and do 1 or 2 things, and then at 3, 4 they are planning to leave. And the man who does his menial jobs, in fact, who does the real word labor, who really labors. Are you going to compare both of them?
I don't think it.
No,
I don't
let me
think.
finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. Now, it is not a day to compare. I'm just telling you that every single person deserves to be recognized. And if we're talking about labor, I mean, labor should cut across all boards, right? Good, across board, labor. Also,
yeah.
Also, now you're talking about the person who increases his price of, when it was 8,000 naira, when you guys were cutting your hair, I remember a time where guys used to always, you know, laugh at us women and say, oh, with how much? 500 naira, I would have a good haircut. But if it depends on the area you are, you know, if you are in a highbrow area or somewhere, you could say, oh, with 2,000 naira, he would cut my hair, he will shave me, he will do this. You guys used to, you know, tell us, we ladies then. And
time has gone when men used to brag about things like that.
Good. Now, when it was 500 naira, 800 naira, were you the one that told the man to cut your hair for that amount? No. You didn't have to fight for it. Let me finish. You didn't have to fight for it. He didn't just wake up and decided that he wants to do it. Certain circumstances, certain things led to that. And when these things happen, what do you expect? You don't expect him to keep cutting your hair at 800 naira when you know very well that he may not have if he keeps doing that, he may not have the necessary amount to restock, to give you good service when you come back the next 2 weeks. So what do you expect him to do? He has to increase the price so that when you come back in 2 weeks' time, he would have the same, I won't say ingredient because it's not soup. He would have the same, what do you guys call it now? Those creams and all of that, you know, to make you look good, to cut your hair neatly. Yeah. That is the thing. So you don't blame the man who increased the price. You blame those in power who are not able to manage our economy very well, who are not able to have price control, those who are not able to put the necessary measures in place to make sure that the man on the road does not increase his price.
The man on the road is in the same country with the man in the office. Now, for all we know, the whole conversation.
He doesn't wait at the end of the month to receive his salary.
Yeah, the whole conversation
a huge salary.
about the civil servants are lazy. They don't even do anything.
Nobody's saying they're lazy.
That's why I said allegation.
I am not saying.
The whole allegation, again, that's the word I want to use, about civil servants being lazy, or that they go to their offices and they just chat and laugh and gist, and that when you come to get issues sorted, that they even barely give you attention and all of that. For all we know, that could just be an allegation.
Oh, wow.
And those kind of behavior are not even peculiar to civil servants alone. We also have those kind of attitude even in the private sector. Yeah, you go to some banks, you go to some establishments, and even from the front desk, you're already getting some kind of like a deskal attitude. You're being treated in such a rude manner that you're asking yourself, for instance, if it's a bank, I'm the one who decided to even bank with you guys. I'm the one who decided to make certain investments in this establishment. I should be treated with some level of respect. So that whole idea of, civil servants, they while away time while at the office, they don't do anything. It is not peculiar to
How many private offices can you just leave around 2-3 without any proper reason?
To the civil service.
I'm asking you a question.
We also see that in the private. But there are situations.
Private firms.
There are situations like that. No, like the point I made earlier regarding, for instance, the mechanic, the barber, the shoe cobbler, the plumber, or what have you. Now, you talked about situations or certain things that had happened that necessitated the increase in the prices of their services that they render. Now, these things that happen to them, vis-a-vis, what's it called, fuel increase, electricity. The workers who are in the offices, who work in the civil service, are they not in the same country? Are they not buying the same fuel? Are they not paying for the same electricity bills? But, okay, do they need an increase in pay? Yes. Do they make those demands? Yes. Are those demands met? The answer is no. But the difference now is that the barber, by reason of certain changes in policy, by reason of certain changes in the economy and with regards to inflation and all of that, he makes certain demands and you have to pay. Unless you don't want to cut your hair, you have to pay now.
Then don't cut your hair. You
have to pay.
Stop plaiting your hair.
You go to the mechanic. If you used to put air in your tire for, let's say, 50 naira, and he says it's 300 naira. If you don't want, you will go away with a flat tire.
Don't pump your tire.
These are the issues.
Park your car.
The same issues.
Buy a bicycle. And go to work.
The same issues, the same policies that necessitated the changes, those challenges are also faced by the civil servant. You talk about these guys, like, they don't have defense.
Do you know what the difference is? Do you know what the difference is?
They don't have defense.
Do you know the difference?
They have families
that
they have to cater for.
Answer the
question.
And
by the way,
do you know the difference?
If we're even going to, let's even imagine that the civil servants. Let me just finish on this. Let's even imagine that the civil servants go to their offices to while away time. Has that always been the attitude? Has that always been?
Some don't even go to the office. Some have ghost workers.
Okay, has that always been the response to work? What brought the Nigerian worker to that level where they don't care anymore? These are the questions we need to ask. That is, if actually the insinuations that they do not do anything is actually true.
I'm asking you a question. Do you know the difference between the agitation of the civil servant and the man who increases his price in the market or in the store?
But then again, I just pointed it out.
No long stories. Do you know the difference?
I just pointed it out for you.
Do you know the difference?
This is not in any way to compare.
Let me tell you the difference.
I'm saying,
just one difference. Do you know the difference? Do you know the difference? Good. The difference is that the civil servant can fight the government tooth and nail till their demands are met. The other one, and they will use legal means and shout. But the other one, he cannot shout at you. He will not force you to pay. He only tells you this is what it is. And he even finds time let me finish.
Yeah.
He even finds time to explain to you why he needs you to pay this amount. And the truth is this, it's your business. If you don't want to pay, you are free to go.
So it would have been ideal. It would have
But
been
dealing
ideal.
with the government and the civil servants,
Okay. Who is even?
it doesn't happen that way because
When-
it have to come
Okay,
to
ask yourself.
a form of negotiation.
Ask yourself, where does the civil servant Babi say? Is he not the same Baba?
He should buy blade.
If he's not paid well, how is he going to bab now?
No problem.
How is
now.
he going to bab?
Buy blade.
So if you are
Or you
increasing
say
your price,
kitchen knife.
it's not about what's the word now? Comparing, as it were. Oh, the people who work in the public or civil service, and those of them who are artisans or who I don't want to say menial jobs, who are more hand skilled. Yeah, it's not about comparing. But if
You are comparing.
But if we are even going to go there, there are certain situations, there are certain indices surrounding the civil service that gives them a little bit of what's it called now? Is it an edge, or that makes it necessary for us to give them some sort of preference, in terms of listening? What are these guys demanding for? Because, okay, ask yourself, how many, what was the percentage of workforce, in the country? How many people in Nigeria are artisans? How many people in Nigeria are civil servants? You go to some states, they're not producing anything. They're not economically viable.
Anyway,
like
we don't have much
places
time for
like
this
Lagos,
kind of conversation.
like places like
Because
Lagos
the truth is
or
this,
Abuja.
you
There
are comparing,
There are some
and you
states
do not want to
that
agree.
are entirely civil servant states. So what happens to those people?
Those states that are entirely civil servant states, how well have they fared? Look at it. Can you compare those states that are mostly civil servants and the states that are a
So do
blend
you
of
think
both? Are you aware? Are you aware that a state or a nation cannot survive entirely with just civil service? Are you aware?
Agreed.
So what are we talking about here?
Agreed. But
When we talk
can
about
they-
labor, who
can-
are
can
the real
they-
laborers?
Can they survive at all?
No, I'm asking you, who are the real laborers?
At the rate, and by the way, it is unfair to judge labor because, solely based on manual or hand input. I mean, when somebody is doing a lot of brain work, that's intense labor. That's
Are you a laborer?
Labor, on a whole different
Are you
level.
a laborer?
I mean, I'm putting in a lot of energy.
Are you a laborer?
I put in energy
You
in
are
what I
a
do.
worker. You're not a laborer.
I put in energy in what I do. It's just a question of semantics, yeah? Yeah, apparently.
Semantics.
Exactly.
Oyibo.
So today, let's treat the Nigerian worker better.
So today, let's treat the Nigerian laborer better.
We're actually saying the same thing.
No, it's a matter of what did you call it again? What's the word you use?
Samankwe.
Anyway, I don't understand the English he spoke, and I'm definitely sure you didn't understand the English he spoke. But like he said, it's a matter of, what's the word again? Remind me that word.
Come on, Cynthia. You know this thing.
I don't know that word.
You know this thing.
I've never heard that word before.
Yes, you
The
have.
the word does not cross board. Doesn't go across board. So let us use the one that is we can relate. That one I cannot
Again,
relate.
what I was trying to say is that what me and Cynthia were saying is the
Me and
same.
you?
Yeah,
No.
we're saying the same thing.
only you.
We're just saying it differently, and we're coming at it from different angles. Yeah, she's
Hey,
raising.
You explain. No evidence.
She's raising a lot of what's the word now? Advocacy for those who do more manually tasking jobs. And I'm saying, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But then again, the civil servants deserve a huge chunk of recognition.
Wow.
And what's the word now? Recognition basically for the kind of stuff that they do. And I think we should listen to some of the things that they're saying.
I have asked you one major question, and you have answered. So I'm not going to repeat it again. So we're going to move on to the next, which is health and wellness. Don't go anywhere.
All right, good morning. Thank you for joining us on Rapid Sports this morning. It's the morning tonic you ingest once every 24 hours, Monday to Friday, right here on Rapid Television. We're on channel 176 on Star Times, and you can always watch us online at www.arabianradiotv.com. Guchuku Madumeri is my name, and this morning, as usual, the Big John, the only John, the winning John, the working John, as today is Workers' Day, so yeah. Kamang John is in the studio. Good morning to you, John, and welcome.
Billionaires always work. We don't rest. We're always working. Always working.
Oh my God. Well, what do we start with this morning? Quite a lot on the front burner. Yesterday, there was a lot of conversation in the aftermath of the appointment of Finidi George as the new coach of the Super Eagles. I mean, he's been around for a while, but officially now he's going to take charge of the team in the at least in the nearest future, especially after the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. We will know if he's going to stay for as long as he is supposed to. Well, we have the Nigeria Professional Football League, or the Nigeria Premier Football League, like we call it now. There's been a lot of action. On Monday, Bayelsa United defeated Rivers United in that South-South affair by 2-1. Well, yesterday there was a decision from the Nigeria Football Federation and the managers of the league regarding the match involving Enyimba and Doma United that was played in the Aba Township Stadium. We'll talk about that, as well as the episode that unfolded last night at Allianz Arena, talking about the UEFA Champions League, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. Tonight is going to be Dortmund and PSG. So you could see there's quite a lot for us to talk about this morning. Well, let's kick start with tennis by telling you that Francisco Cerendulo earned his third top 5 win yesterday at the Mutua Madrid Open, where he upset world number 5 Alexander Zverev 6-3, 6-4 to reach his 4th ATP Masters 1000 quarterfinal. The Argentine saved both break points he faced and won 79% of his first serve points, according to reports.
Those who feel they are qualified throw in their hat into the ring, and then we will put in place a process that throws up the best and most qualified candidate for that. But that's not what we saw. Yes, we saw people throw their hats in the ring, but we didn't see the process that eventually led to a Finidi George. I don't have a problem.
I mean, usually there's a lot of meetings that goes on at the background between the technical committee and the executive of the NFL.
Now, it's not just about the meetings, it's about the process. What was the criteria? As Nigerians, we have our criteria as to, because the most significant criteria for the average Nigerian is he must be able to win games. He must be able to win trophies for Nigeria. That is key. That is number one. And that is also part of the criteria for the NFF. But because the NFF is saddled with the responsibility of ensuring that we have the best hands, the best legs, the best materials to execute these championships and competitions on behalf of over 250 million Nigerians, it behooves them to ensure that the process is transparent, the process is thorough. You understand? And that is where some of us ask questions. What was the process? It's not about a Finidi. It's not about an Amunike. Was the process thorough that led to the decision of event? You know why? Now, let me tell you why. Prior to the announcement.
But would you be questioning the process of the appointment of Finidi if an Amunike was appointed? Would you be questioning the process leading up to his appointment
in the same
as well?
manner the announcement of Finidi came? Yes, I will question it. Why? Because I was coming to that. As far as I am concerned, I may be wrong. I stand corrected. But it looked as if the NFF were arm twist. They were pressured to making a decision. First, it was the Minister of Sports. There were reports where the minister said, wait a minute, this thing is taking too long. I mean, Pasero left in February. We just entered, if probably the minister and the National Assembly the Committee on Sports in the House of National Assembly did not pressure, we probably would have entered the month of May before that announcement was made, right? So the Minister of Sports was the first to say, wait a minute, why is this thing taking too long? And I am thinking that the minister was not just talking about the time, but also about the fact that, hey, there's been so much silence in the football house. We're not, what's going on? You understand? At least you are supposed to be giving us updates as to this is how far we've gone.
Negotiations
blah, blah.
are going on.
You know,
yeah.
None of that. None of that. The last anybody had about the quote and unquote the process was Amunike has thrown in his hat. So person has thrown in his hat.
I think leading up to these announcements, there were lots of rumors and speculation from sports people. No, I don't know how most sports journalists were getting the information that they were putting out.
Now, that is the problem, because the NFF was not keeping people abreast. What do you expect will happen? Speculations and rumors.
Some of these rumors were coming from a place
what you must
they
also
actually
understand,
knew what was going on behind the scenes.
What you must also
so there's also the possibility that there may have been somebody in the executive committee who was even, leaking all of this information.
It is very possible. As a sports writer myself, I know those of us who have long-lasting relationships and connections in the NFF. You understand? So sometimes you get feelers. But you see, the responsibility we have is not to come and throw speculation. We're supposed to put out the facts, the story. You understand? The public relies on us to do the investigation and bring out the facts, not speculation. But in a situation where there are no, the NFF didn't come out to say, hey, look, yes, the process is ongoing. We're in stage 2, which is blah, 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 blah. That would have given the media the impetus to come out and say, okay, the NFF is in stage 2. Right now, we know that out of maybe 10 people who threw in their hats for the job of Super Eagles manager, it has been prone down to 5. It has been prone down to 4. Do you understand? So Nigerians know that, oh, there's a process going on. You understand? The NFF may not need to give us the details, but at least the public has an idea of, oh, something is ongoing. And I think I'm reading the posture of the Minister of Sport to say, wait a minute, why is this thing taking so long? We're not hearing anything. And then the National Assembly comes and says, wait a minute, what's going on? We're not, look, qualifiers are just a few, but
weeks asking away. Questions does not translate to them and twisting the NFF.
No, it is subtle pressure. It is subtle pressure.
They would have been speaking for the rest of Nigerians. I mean, someone like me was also asking questions like, why is it taking so long?
They have a right to speak on behalf of Nigerians, but because of the office they occupy, that puts subtle pressure on the NFF. So I am asking, is it possible that subtle pressure is what has given results?
So are you saying the NFF should have taken more time before coming forward with an announcement?
I am not saying the NFF should have taken more time. I am saying, what was the process that led to the decision of a Finidi George? That is all the question I have asked. And I think it is a legitimate question. What is the process? Because I have just given you a background to what has led to that thought. That, hey, look, a sports minister has said, wait a minute, why is this thing taking too long? A National Assembly, a House Committee on Sports has come out to say, wait a minute, something is not right here. We know people have thrown in their hats, but nobody's keeping us abreast as to what is going on.
But so as that it is, the decision has been made. Moving forward now.
Now, yes, the decision has been made. A lot of people have shown solidarity behind Finidi George. Yesterday on Correro, I had a colleague, a fellow sports journalist, one-time sporting director for Abia Warriors, Patrick Nwogu, very respected sports journalist in this town. And he said, look, Finidi is probably the best choice at this point in time, considering that he's the current manager of Enyimba. And I have said here that if you want to count clubs who know their onions, Enyimba is one of them, if not the club at the top of the pinnacle as far as Nigerian professional football is concerned. And that if you look at the way Enyimba currently operates under the leadership of Finidi George, it gives you an insight into what Finidi is bringing to the table as Super Eagles coach. As of the closing stages of yesterday, news made the rounds that he was in discussions with the NFF, and the NFF has given him the go-ahead to choose who his assistants will be. Now, there are so many issues here, and we are hoping that a Finidi George has learned from history. But prior to a Finidi George being named Super Eagles coach, a Christian Okala, chairman, Christian Chukwu, I beg your pardon, Chairman Christian Chukwu, one-time Super Eagles coach, had come out to say that for over a decade now, he's still being owed salaries as Super Eagles coach. And he made it clear, and he's not the only one, that has said that, look, when it comes to the Super Eagles job, Nigerian coaches are not given the same leverage that their foreign counterparts are given.
The same thing that Siasia was talking about a couple of days ago in a podcast. Exactly.
Pay disparity. You understand? They're gonna. We know Parceiro was paid in dollars. Right now, we don't know whether our brother Finidi George is going to be paid in dollars or in, naira.
And if his salaries are going to come as
when due. You understand? Because I even asked my colleague Patrick yesterday. I said, prior to let's not forget, in the build-up to the African Cup of Nations, one of the issues that Parceiro raised subtly was the fact that he was being owed. And at that time, there were rumors that the NFF was cash-strapped. You understand? Going into the African Cup of Nations, and a whole lot of, there were the pay, or whether he had been paid or not paid, even as of the time he was executing the African Cup of Nations, was shrouded in a whole lot of mystery. There are reports suggesting that Jose Parceiro, beyond the fact that his contract had expired, one of the reasons he chose not to leave was because of the irregularity.
Money issues.
Exactly. Money issues. The question now is not just about, if Finidi has been named, he has been asked to get his assistant. The question is, will he get all the support, 110 degree of support that he needs to be able to, one, qualify Nigeria for the 2026 World Cup. You understand? And two, not just qualify, but ensure that Nigeria puts a sterling performance at the World Cup. It will be heady of me to say, Nigeria goes all the way to win the World Cup. And so I have pegged it at a sterling performance. The last time we had a sterling performance at the World Cup was in 1994, where we were celebrated as the most entertaining team at the World Cup, which he was in that team. So can he
I think he has his job cut out for him.
Exactly.
There is also the question of, what's going to be the percentage of local players that we're not going to incorporate into the national team?
I share the sentiments of my colleague yesterday, Patrick, that because of time, we may not see a Finidi in the build-up to the qualifiers, incorporate so much of local players. He may stick with the players he used in executing the two friendlies and players in the African Cup of Nations. Don't forget, he was assistant to Jose Parceiro while he was executing the African Cup of Nations. So because of that time frame, the likelihood is that he may not be quick to want to incorporate local-based players into that team. So he will want to stick with
But one would expect that because, he's been a part of the system, by now he should have known what players to call out or invite to the national team who are going to vie for shirts with those of them who are already there.
I agree. Being a coach myself, I know the trick that poses. It poses because the question here is, will both sets of players be able to bond in time? Because you're talking about playing as a unit. That is what he has achieved with Enyimba. Enyimba plays as a unit. And why? Because they play week in, week out together. The team has developed some kind of what you would call telepathic kind of play. Each player knows where this player. So it's
going to take time before he makes that.
Yeah, it's going to take time.
Well, because of time, still talking about Enyimba. Yesterday, 2 points were chopped off from Enyimba. What that meant was that the game involving Enyimba and Doma United has been pegged as a draw. It was first a win for Enyimba because they did score a goal in the closing stages of that game, which was marred in a lot of controversy. After the goal was scored, referee consulted the linesman. They said it was an offside, and then all of a sudden the referee moved out of the stadium to go watch the replay from an OBS van belonging to a broadcasting station outside of the stadium that was surrounded by fans of Enyimba. And then he makes his way back to the stadium and insisted that the goal would stand. Now, in the aftermath, we also heard that, he was even twisted into writing the report by officials of Enyimba International. Now, later on, he comes out to say that, this are the things that happened. I was under pressure. That was why I made the decision. And I thought we should have gone beyond the point where we award, as it were, boardroom points. What do you make of this whole back and forth? Because I'm expecting that Enyimba is going to appeal.
Enyimba will appeal, but you see, let's apportion the blame where the blame ought to be apportioned. The NPFL. Why?
Okay, welcome back. It's still Rapidon. That was just a video to keep you abreast with the Labor Day, the Workers' Day, however term you want to use. I prefer to use the Labor Day anyway. So the conversation about Labor Day still continues, from 9, and we do have a guest in the studio. But before then, I think we'll have to laugh a bit.
I totally agree. It is necessary.
Because I heard that this guest is coming with Abido Shika. So
it's coming with Gandu Kaji.
So it's pertinent that we get to laugh a bit with. Okay, so as you know, that the Star Rise audition has been going on in Umuahia, Rapid FM Umuahia, and of course, you know how auditions work. You come to contest for the grand prize, which I don't know why Ugochukwu did not encourage me. I'm supposed to be there, singing my heart out, for the grand prize. Once I just get that money, now just carry 2 melanin,
Okay. No, complete it.
Like 3.
Oh, okay.
Depending on their prices.
3 loaves of bread.
Is bread melanin?
3 big juices. 3 watermelons. You wanted to say watermelons. Okay.
So let's just get to there's this particular one that is of interest. It's so exciting to watch, and you know how these auditions goes. It gives you.
Well, it's interesting that you have to introduce it as something funny. It's supposed to be serious.
I don't know. Okay, the truth is,
It's a serious thing.
I don't know if this one is going to be funny. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. I'm just preparing the minds of our viewers,
Guys, this is a very serious edition. We have had people travel from all over the Southeast to be part of this, and I just expect the best on this one. Don't listen to Cynthia.
They listen to me more.
Really?
To before one. So, I particularly love this one because it reminds me of something. Let's watch this, the Star Rise audition.
Hey, you don't produce this song? No.
You never produced a.
That's my first performance.
Your first. No, you mean your first album or your first single?
No, I have like maybe thousands of albums, but that's my new track.
Wow.
Because of how the country is.
Wow. Hey, you don't produce this song?
No.
You never produced a.
That's my first performance.
Your first. No, you mean your first album or your first single?
No, I have like maybe thousands of albums, but that's my new track. Because of how the country is.
Wow.
Huh. Blackie, managing, over manage one key Nigeria, so Blackie, packaging. Our government don't open everybody eyes for the country now. Everybody now the packaging. If not get the swag, pause, pack well. You know follow for the packaging. I say packaging. Everybody for Nigeria now the packaging. I say managing. Condition don't make our big man for the country now. Everybody now the managing. If not get the swag, pause, pack well. You know follow for the managing. I say managing. Everybody for Nigeria now the managing. I say packaging. But all those things now packaging, madam. If not sabi like pause, pack well. You know follow for the packaging. I say packaging. Hey, everybody for Nigeria now the packaging.
Hold on. What is your name again?
Andy Blackie.
Managing. Me as you see me now, I don't feel manage for this one. Packaging. As you don't package yourself, enter for Rapid FM. Packaging.
I said thank you.
Oh, wow. You're the real deal.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay, so but you're gonna have to package yourself, to this door.
Okay.
Because it's a no for me. Even after that, you're packaging.
Thank you.
All right.
For me to know, it's a no. It's a no. No.
Your song is good in terms of going to studio to record it, like what you said.
Yes.
I'm happy to see a youth like you that's bothered with what's going on in the country now.
Okay.
So many youths no.
Yes.
I tell you, they don't know what is the problem for the country. They don't even want to know. But you now, they bother you. You take your pen.
Yes.
Package yourself. You don't even manage your pen.
Yes.
But you package yourself. You already have 2 no's. Okay. I'm sorry to add a third one. All right?
Yeah.
It won't be working for us.
Okay.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Hey, you don't produce this.
Okay. I don't know why Agoyan decided to do that guy dirty. If I were there, I would say yes. There are some people when they come to audition, you just tell them yes because they are feel good. Managing. It reminds me of Eminem. Yeah.
How?
It reminds me of Eminem. The guy with 1 or 2 touch, he will get. The only problem here with this guy is just the timing. It's just the timing. Now, if you want to rap is about timing. You need to know where to put the next one. If not, you will miss your beat. So he had several cases of missing his beats. Do you get?
Yeah.
But he knows his rhymes, but he's missing his beats. So with little 1 or 2 touch, he will get.
Goodness. I cannot believe you're doing this now. You're giving this guy a lot of
serious.
hope. You're giving him a lot of hope.
No. I like the. Yeah. Oh, in fact, let's introduce our guest already. We have Princely Uwachuko. He is a social commentator, and he'll be talking to us about the Workers' Day. He has a whole lot of things to say.
He's a Nigerian worker too.
Yes, he's a Nigerian worker. But before he delves into all of his many angers, let him just tell us about how he's managing.
But the guy didn't lie though. Everybody's managing.
Yeah, we are all packaging.
Well, back to the managing guy. We are all managing, like you said.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so today is Workers' Day, and I want to say a happy Workers' Day to the over 60 million Nigerian workers, estimatedly, who are out there trying to make a living for themselves. And, you know, it's been difficult, really, you know, lots of increments here and there, fuel, foodstuff, hikes everywhere. But Nigerians are still out there trying to earn a living for themselves.
And manage.
Yes, and package. So I want to, you know, just wish all Nigerian workers a happy, is it Labour's Day or happy Workers' Day?
Labour's Day.
Happy Workers' Day.
Happy
It is
Labour's
Labour Day.
Yes. So
I think that song from that guy should be our official theme song. management for the year. We are managing. We are like you now with your 2.5. You they manage.
Exactly.
You package. That means they go price yam up to 15 naira.
Exactly. You know.
All right. So Princely, let's talk about. I mean, today is Workers' Day, Labor Day. We are still having. There are still some things that we ought not to be talking about at this point.
Yes.
But then we still find ourselves still having these things as issues. People still have to queue for fuel despite the fact that they didn't have enough money. Everything is just on the high side. Your salary right now is not even enough to, I mean, imagine a family of 3. Your salary is not even enough right now. I don't want us to compare to our counterparts in other parts of the world.
Yes.
Let us focus on Nigeria. Do you think that there is any hope for the average worker right now?
Well, the thing is, the agitation for, you know, better welfare for workers is something that will never end, because as the society develops, there are, you know, industrialization takes place, and there are so many aspects of society that will also that won't let the demand for better welfare from workers. It can never end, and hopefully we about last week there was this article or like a statement from some quarters that the federal government is actually considering implementing a new wage. A new wage for Nigerian workers, new minimum wage rather for Nigerian workers. From that statement, I saw something about between 150 to 200,000 as a minimum wage. That's where government is going to take it up from. Also, it's a welcome development. At least that would also go a long way in sorting some of these issues. But of course, it's not going to end the problems outrightly, but to some extent, it will also, you know, go a long way to cushion some of the sufferings. And as we talk about this, we also should begin to look about the effects of, you know, such implementation, because it's a general knowledge, or it's a general thing. It always happens that once we have more money in circulation, other items also seems to, like, you know, skyrocket and increase. So it's we're looking forward to better days for Nigerian workers.
You mentioned about the demand for better pay, better work conditions being something that's actually perpetual. Do you think the government is measuring up to those demands? Because it's one thing for the workers to be making demands, and it's another thing for government to be listening and basically responding to those demands. So do you think the government is measuring up as they should to the demands that the workers are making?
Well, the thing is, honestly, considering how much that comes into the economy in terms of how much the government itself earns, it's a bit difficult, you know, having to provide adequately for the Nigerian worker, those who are, of course, working with the government. I wouldn't say the governments have done their best, but for the fact that they are still listening to, you know, some of these demands, and also, you know, trying to see how it can be resolved. But I think what should be the focus right now is seeking for other ways, you know, through where we can increase our revenue, basically. Of course, when you have increased revenues from other, then you can be able to comfortably pay these wages. That's how it is. You cannot pay what you don't have. So, and you know, it is just logic. It is just the reality. Yes.
So to the best of your knowledge, the government is trying the best that they can.
Yes.
And I think it was also yesterday that we had the news regarding a 25%, 35% increase
Yes.
in the salary of civil servants
35%.
across board.
Across board.
Yeah.
But the NLC is rejecting that. So that makes me want to ask, I mean, as a Nigerian worker, do you think that the NLC is actually fighting for the interests of the Nigerian workers?
Yes, because considering the reality of now, right now, in terms of the cost of even food, right now you can't get a roadside food for less than 1,500 naira. And how much is currently the minimum wage is about 30,000. It hasn't increased as we speak. And like you mentioned earlier, for someone who has a family of, you're talking about a family of 3, even one person. You're also talking about transportation has also increased. So it is not realistic at all. And it is something that it has to be done. Somehow it has to be done. And maybe another thing government can also do is to create other, maybe palliatives, to create palliative that can also ease, the whole burden of this, low salary income earners.
The body language of the current
Yes.
administration, does it look like one that seeks to ease the burden that Nigerian workers are facing? Because first, there was the removal of the fuel subsidy.
Yes.
There's been recurrent increase. In energy and electricity tariff.
Yes.
And a whole lot of other things. But there is no commensurate increase in the minimum wage or the salary structure of these
Yes.
workers. There are even establishment agencies and parastatals where setting, what's it called now, salary increments have not been implemented.
You're talking about salary. Okay, how about the states? You're even talking about those who are working at the federal level. How about the states? You have states who have not paid salaries for like 18 months. 18 months. I've had
Yes.
18 months, and you begin to wonder. It is crazy, and you expect people to come to work every day. They cannot be productive. It is not possible. I think the body language of the government, like you just said, it presently doesn't seem to be doing anything in that regard. In terms of trying to make things happen and make better the welfare of the workers. But of course, we would have expected that even before the removal of subsidy, we would have expected that some certain of structures are put in place so that while you're removing this, you're also putting in this to ensure that there's some sort of balance, so that people don't feel the impact that much. And this is about this is about almost a year into the government, into the present administration, and there doesn't seem to be anything, that is done in terms of not even about increasing the minimum wage, but even putting in some things in place to cushion some of the effects of removing these things the way it was removed. And like you mentioned, power has also been increased. But the power size has been increased, and you're also expecting people to pay these monies from what they've been earning before. You cannot balance
There's
it.
the issue of inflation.
There's the issue of inflation. People can't. Sometimes I really begin to wonder how people survive. Really, I find it difficult to put it together. Like, how do people survive? And you only just encouraging corruption. That's just it, because everybody's now is looking out for where they can get some extra money, to be able to meet up their daily demands, personal and family. So it is. No, it is something that has to be considered, really. Something has to be done.
Okay,
urgently.
so in places like Lagos State,
Yes.
the governor did say that some people have been earning up to about 70,000 naira since January.
Yes.
So for whatever it is that you were earning before, I think there was a certain percentage of increase, and they've been earning that since January.
Yes.
Although some persons, most times these things don't come out until the governor comes to give his report and say, this is what we have been doing, so
Yes.
I've achieved. So now, why is it that for some of the states that are, getting one or two benefits, why they're not talking about it? And then also, I still want to go back to NLC. Now, NLC have been complaining. They have been having their strikes. They have been having lots of talks regarding workers' pay, workers' treatment, and the likes. But we've seen situations whereby they start a protest, they start to talk about this thing, and then after maybe 1 or 2 days into it, they say they've met with the federal government, and they've reached some sort of agreement.
Yes.
Now, we've had several cases like that, which I'm still asking again. Do you think, Princely, that the NLC is actually concerned about the average person? Now, keeping in mind that yesterday there was 35% increase given, but the NLC came out this morning on the headlines to say that they are not accepting it. Now, are they thinking about what that 35% increase can even do for the average man, you know, in his office if it's implemented? Or are they just saying, we don't want it, so you get nothing?
Yes. Okay, so basically, a lot of the LSE has been criticized in recent times because this is not the trend that we know the past leaderships of the LLC to. This wasn't their pattern. We've had on 3 or 4 occasions we had threats of strikes and nothing ends up happening. So it's either that they genuinely reach some sort of tangible resolution with the government at some point, or that there's something going on that maybe it's just some kind of show. Okay, just shake things up a little, and so that you could calm the nerves of. Now, I'm not trying to say anything happened in the end.
It was an exchange of something of some sort.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So now we cannot say, because there is no evidence to that effect to say, okay, this was how happened, or maybe somebody has been compromised somewhere. But truly, like you mentioned, it is a sensitive. It is a sensitive matter because we've not had anything serious happen. It's just this same going back and forth. We'll do this, we'll do that. Okay, we're going on strike. Then maybe a few hours to the proposed strike, the NSC comes out to say, no, okay, we've been suspended and stuff. So Nigerians are still looking forward to see at what point that these agreements or these reconciliations will begin to manifest. You understand? Because at some point there has to be some sort of evidence at the end of the day, because you can't just keep saying, okay, we are here, or we've spoken with government, we are here, and nothing is on the table. Like, you can't pin it down. Okay, this is it. So I think at some point we also have to figure it out as Nigerians to know if truly the NLC has been open to Nigerian workers. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think you're being diplomatic, but it's all right. It's all right. You don't want to release your powers, but it's all right. I know you're an angry Nigerian worker, and how do they say, greatest Nigerian workers?
But
solidarity forever.
Exactly.
But then again, a 25 or 35% increase has been proposed. How far is that going to go?
I mean, if you're earning 100,000, for example.
So how many of them are earning 100,000?
It depends on your level there.
The minimum wage is 30,000. 25% of that is 7,500. 35% is 10,500.
Yeah.
Does that really make a lot of difference in a market that is full of inflated food prices and all of that?
No, okay, we're not talking about. Let's not also forget as well, Prince, that not everyone is earning 30,000.
Yes.
Depending on your rank,
yes.
depending on your level.
The majority.
So I think the major factor here is even considering the implementation of this increment. I think the major focus should be on those who are earning lower.
Exactly.
Like those who are earning the 30,000 as the minimum.
Exactly.
Wage. You know, those ones they should have a reasonable percentage of increment on their salaries. And of course, as we speak now, there are civil servants who earn as much as 500,000 according considering their ranks. You could just add a little bit of something. It shouldn't be a percentage that goes across board for everybody. I think that's another thing government should look at, because someone who is earning the 35%.
Is it the government or the NLC? They should know what they are demanding for.
The NLC should be able to demand these things, because someone who is earning 35% increments on a 500,000 salary and 35% increments on a 30,000 salary, it's
the same.
You cannot add that together. So I think NSA should look at lifting up those who are at the lowest who are at the lowest
cadre
category,
of the civil service.
Of the civil service.
But then again, shouldn't we
payment role.
take a cue from the Godwin Obaseki-led Edo State? Last year, he announced an increase from 30,000 to 40,000. And just yesterday or day before yesterday, he announced that in Edo State, that the Edo State government is going to be paying its workers 70,000 naira. Because I want to relate that to what you said earlier regarding, government has to look at how much is coming in, has to look at their revenue, before making decisions as to increments and all of that.
Yes.
But this is a state in the federation taking a decision that ultimately favors the Nigerian worker. Shouldn't other states be taking a cue from Edo State? Shouldn't the federal government even be asking Edo State, okay, how are you doing it? If it's about revenue, how are you able to balance your books at the end of the day to make sure that, you even pay what you say you're going to pay? Because so far, among the states that are not able to foot the bills or rather keep up to date in terms of payment, Edo State is not one of them. So shouldn't we be taking a cue and asking questions like, how are you doing this?
Okay, so basically I want to say something here. The average, I think there is a problem with the labor structure generally in Nigeria when it has to do with government. First of all, you have to look at what kind of hands do we have as your workforce. Secondly, I don't know why most of the states are not even taking advantage of their economically, as in the aspects of the economy where they have advantage over. Because when you do this, it becomes easier for you. Understand? When you have a state that that should be technologically productive, and you are probably going into something like agriculture, you won't
maximize your potential.
You won't maximize your potentials. And now this is something that is across all the labor force. When it comes to government, you find people who are in certain positions who are not even qualified for those positions. Employment is done based on someone's, you know me, I know you, and stuff like that. And people just bring in people who are not even qualified. And when you go to the government offices, somebody goes to work by 10 a.m. and by 12 they've left the office. Most of them are not even productive. Now, the thing is this, like I mentioned earlier, when you want to justify pay, you should also be able to justify how much you've put into where you are expecting this pay from. And this is what I think is lacking in most states. Like I said, you should focus on those areas where you have advantage over, and also, direct your labor force towards that area. With that, you'll be able to provide more and generate more income for your states. That's in my opinion, that's what I think, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. In as much as we want to be optimistic with the 70,000 in Edo State, I wouldn't say it would be difficult to sustain. I wouldn't want to say that. I don't know if you share the same sentiments.
Well, let's not forget that there's an election coming up.
Exactly.
Let's not forget there's an election coming up. So basically, it should just be political. I'm not saying it is political, but it could be political. And
there is that speculation.
Yeah, we've actually had cases where some of these things will just come up, and after certain results are after certain results are achieved, then the one who made the promise goes back to sleep and said, I can't remember making such promises.
Exactly. I mean, I did it for some time.
Yeah, and even when we have change of governments, the new government might just come and say, we can't continue with what was promised. What was promised. I was the one that made the promise.
Yeah.
So these are the things. So when you talk about these things, you have to also consider how can we manage things to make it consistent? Can we really, make these things, like make it the standards, general standards? So just coming out to make this promise and maybe just paying those salaries in 1 or 2 months, doesn't really make a difference, in my opinion.
I mean, if a state like Lagos State says, okay, they are doing that, it looks sustainable because.
But they haven't even come out to make that kind of announcement.
Yes. No. The governor had a press release a few days ago,
and he said it,
that people have been. I mean, workers, depending on your level, Now, the beautiful thing about Lagos State and when the government made that during that press conference was depending on your level.
Yes.
So the increase comes depending on.
A lot of people interpreted that to mean that he
70,000.
said that the new minimum wage in Lagos is now 70,000. That was what some people understood by that.
Well,
So-
you will not also blame them because when it comes to salaries and payments, everybody's ear is always open to hear what was announced. And even if you didn't mean it the way you said, even if you were just making a promise, people take you for your word. Like, that's what you said last time. Okay, for Lagos State, for the governor of Lagos State making such promises, I wouldn't want to believe because he just got re-elected. So if he's making such promises, making such statements, then it might not be political. It might just be that they already have a plan. And of course, considering how much Lagos State generates in terms of revenue, I think they are capable of doing that. They should be even paying more.
He's not even making a promise. He's saying some people are already
since
earning
January.
it. Yes.
So meaning that it's already been implemented.
Yes, some persons got that increase in their salary.
Yes. So for Lagos State, it's a good one. Although we are expecting more from Lagos because considering how much they are earning in terms of revenue, they should actually be paying more than
They
that.
didn't do it in their power, no rich.
Well,
They are simple people by nature.
well, if you say so.
Okay, so we have to, it is unfair that we've streamlined this whole Workers' Day thing to just salary and what you take home. It's beyond that, okay?
Sure.
It's about the treatment. It's about how workers are being treated, not only about payment alone.
Yes.
It's about how bosses treat their workers. It's about how the entire workspace.
Leave processes.
You
When a nursing mother, for instance, gives
People
birth,
have women have maternity
issues
leave.
around
Do men
that.
have paternity leave? Some of these things. I remember was it not something 2 years ago. So there was a conversation about men getting paternity leave, and I do remember that afterwards there was a news, by the federal government saying that men are going to be granted paternity leave. But then again, that conversation, we haven't heard much about it. Do you think that when it comes to treatment of workers in work environment, do you think that, it's not, you can be earning 15 million in a place, but if you're not treated well, you can't work?
Okay, so the thing is, first of all, most employers see giving you a job as doing you a favor. Basically, they just see it like they are doing you a favor. We've had cases where people work in offices and work in their bosses' houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had cases where once the boss is in the office, you can't leave the office. So even if he stays there till 12
midnight,
you have to be there because the boss is there. Meanwhile, what you have on your
contract,
employment contract or agreement is 9 to 5 or 8 to, whatever the time is. But now these are issues that are not regularly talked about. And I think they are very, very, very serious issues because the worker it's a worker. The worker is coming there to add value to the business and of course to also earn a living for themselves. So the worker has a right to their own time, their private time, has a right to resting. So it's unfortunate to do that. Sometimes I've not really had a lot happening around labor rights or enforcement. But when you listen to programs on radio and TV, it's a general thing. We have workers who even after sustaining injuries,
yes,
while on duty, the employers abandon them and not even pay them money for treatment, and So I think also, I think government should also be doing more in terms of ensuring that the rights of workers are not trampled upon. Yes, it should be something that should be,
do you think that the NLC talks about this angle a lot, or are they just too saddled with demanding for more increase?
Well,
of money?
The thing is, over time, it's always been, whenever NSC speaks, it has to do with maybe fuel, increase in fuel price, or maybe a policy or something. They have not really come out. I've not heard the NLC come out one day to issue a statement where a worker's rights has been abused. So I've never heard that. So I think the NLC should also do more in that regard. It shouldn't just be about pay. Like you just mentioned, some people can be earning very well, but they are not enjoying the workplace. They just want to be. They can't wait to close.
Yeah.
You find people. You find posts all playing around. People say tomorrow is Monday again, and they can't even.
They are depressed already.
They are depressed. They are depressed on the first day of the week. So all these things shows the level of, sometimes just that people don't have a choice. You just have to go out to earn a living. It's not because that the work is enjoyable, or because there is something that takes you back to the office. Yeah.
Okay, as we get set to wrap up, I would just want you to maybe profess one or two solutions. Because I remember some time back, I had this young friend who was posted to serve in one of the government offices, and on her first day of resumption, there was this worker, a more senior woman rather, who told her that, oh, what is she wearing? Oh, you want to seduce the men here? It was government office, definitely. What was she wearing? A pant and a shirt. A corporate shirt. Backed her hair neatly, slayed her makeup. Women love to slay their makeup, right? But the woman just had problems with everything. So the problem, the first day, she ignored. Came back the second day to resume work. The woman had a problem what she was wearing again. And on the 5th day, she had to ask the woman, that was on a Friday, what exactly do you want me to wear? And the woman told her, look around you. Now, you don't expect a young girl to dress the way an older woman would dress just because she's in a civil service place. Now, so it got so bad that her boyfriend at the time, now husband, had to tell her, please don't work again. Stay, don't worry, just that we pay you the money. Do you understand? Just if it's going to lead to now, so
harassment.
Do you get now? There are no structures in place that this girl can go and report to say, look, I am being harassed and I'm unable to work due to this. I fear even coming to the office because I don't know what she's going to complain about. So what do you think can be done as we get set to wrap up?
Okay, first of all, Nigerians are very religious people. You find people who think, you find a sort of women who would think that wearing ribbon is demonic, and putting up lipsticks is from the pit of hell. So they expect you to cover your hair, look serious, wear ground flowing skirts and stuff. But that aside, in most offices, unfortunately, most offices don't run a structure. Unfortunately. I think what could solve some of these problems is, of course, should be handled by the HR departments of every organization. First of all, I think there should be regulations concerning what you should wear. Of course, it might not be spelled out in black and blue. Of course, for instance, on Monday, you're not expected to wear native. You get on Tuesday, maybe you could wear. On Thursday, you could wear a semi-corporate, clothing and stuff. And at the same time, in a work environment, you're not expected to wear certain things that could be revealing.
But none of it was revealing. A pant, a corporate shirt.
No, you're just talking in that instance. Of course, you have people who are, like I said, who are very deeply religious, who feel even a skirt that's, that
to the person in question,
yes,
it could appear not revealing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you understand?
But the other person could have other standards.
Exactly. So it depends on the standards of the person who is reading and the person who is judging. Okay? So that's where making rules in the office comes into play. You just make the rules. On Mondays, you wear this. Tuesdays, you wear this. And of course, if it should be stated that at least your skirt should probably go below the knee.
But I believe there are stipulated rules and regulations put out by the Civil Service Commission with regards to things like that.
There are also places like the Civil Service Commission. You could go there to report some of your cases and stuff. That's basically, you could go there to report cases.
Do they really work?
I don't know.
Okay, this is the part where I don't want to put you in trouble. Okay. All right, thank you, Prissy, for coming on the show to have this conversation with us. It is Workers' Day, and we are trying to, explore all sides of what it means to be a Nigerian worker. I think being a Nigerian worker is a course to study separately in the university, because you just need to, brace yourself up for what is going to come. You might be surprised. You may not be surprised. So thank you so much for coming. And I hope that we have not tampered with your Workers' Day plans.
No, not at all.
So they're still going to be
It's still
Bedu.
early.
It's still it's still early. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
We do hope that you enjoy your day today.
Yes, you
and if you're drinking, don't drive. If you're driving, don't drink.
I'm not doing both.
If you're not doing both,
Yes.
Be thinking about yourself as a Nigerian worker. We'll go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show. All right. Thank you so much for staying with us this beautiful Wednesday morning. It has been great being with you from 7 till this time. Do hope that you had a great time on the show, and we do hope that you have your Workers' Day plan lined up. Don't spend it at the first station. Try as much as possible to enjoy yourself, because you deserve it. My name is Cynthia Agbo. Do not forget that you can follow us on all of our social media platforms, and you can go to your YouTube channel to see some of our programs, and you can stream with us on our website. And I will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early. I definitely want to see you. So from me to you, stay healthy.
Guchuku Mademir is my name. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Adios.